On September 4th, 2009, on a small island in Indonesia, a man named Muhamad Anwar walked into the jungle behind his house to pick fruit from a tree. He never came back. He wasn't a tourist. He wasn't a researcher. He had lived on that island his entire life, surrounded by the same animals, walking the same paths, breathing the same air. That familiarity is what killed him, because on Komodo Island, confidence isn't a survival skill. It's a death sentence. Komodo dragons are the world's largest lizard, with large specimens growing up to 10 feet in length and weighing over 300 pounds. They have razor-sharp serrated teeth and long, sharp claws designed to shred flesh. Most people have heard of Komodo dragons and seen the nature documentaries. What most people don't know is that approximately 2,000 people live on Komodo Island alongside them, not near them, not in a walled compound with rangers on patrol, on the same paths sharing the same water sources, sleeping a few hundred meters from where these animals hunt. The dragons were there first, the humans moved in. For generations, the local population developed a set of unspoken rules. Don't go out after dark. That's when the dragons move most freely. Don't go alone. And never under any circumstances do anything that causes you to bleed outdoors, because blood is a signal, and Komodo dragons are built to receive it. A Komodo dragon detects blood and carrion using its forked tongue, a sensory organ so precise it can identify the direction a scent is coming from, left or right, upwind or down, from over 4 miles away. There are approximately 1,700 Komodo dragons on the island. That is roughly 1 dragon for every person who lives there. Muhamad Anwar had lived with those odds his entire life. He thought he understood them. He was wrong. On that morning in September, Anwar walked to a sugar apple tree he'd visited countless times before and climbed it. It was a normal and safe routine. What he didn't know was that a Komodo dragon had been tracking scent trails near that tree for hours. Something happened while he was up in that tree. A scrape from the bark, a cut from the fruit, maybe nothing more than the natural accumulation of sweat and skin oil from a lifetime of outdoor work. Whatever it was, it put something in the air. The dragon moved. Komodo dragons can sprint at 12 miles per hour over short distances. They cover ground faster than most people expect. Anwar fell from the tree. The dragon was already there. Within minutes, a second dragon had arrived. Neighbors heard the noise. They came running, shouting, throwing objects in order to drive the animals back into the brush. Muhamad Anwar was alive, and that's the moment most people would assume the story is over, but it wasn't. They transported him to a hospital on the nearby island of Flores, the closest medical facility with the resources to handle serious trauma. He made it there. And then, 2 hours after arriving, Muhamad Anwar died. He died because his blood would not stop flowing. For decades, biologists believed that the primary danger of a Komodo bite was bacterial. The dragon's mouth, they said, was a biological weapon packed with deadly pathogens from years of feeding on carrion. Get bitten, they said, and the bacteria would do the rest. That theory was wrong, or at least it was incomplete. In 2009, the same year Anwar died, researchers at the University of Melbourne published the first full analysis of Komodo venom. What they found changed everything. The venom targets the cardiovascular system directly. It releases anticoagulant compounds, chemicals that prevent blood from clotting. Wounds don't seal, tissue breaks down, blood pressure drops. The moment a Komodo dragon bites you, the clock starts. Not a clock you can see. Not a wound that looks fatal. You can walk away. You can feel relatively fine. You can believe you survived. But inside, the chemistry has already changed. Muhamad Anwar reached the hospital. He received medical attention. It wasn't enough. Here's what they don't usually put in the nature documentaries. Oftentimes people picture a Komodo dragon attack as a chase, a sprint, something fast and violent and obvious. That's not how it works. The Komodo dragon's actual hunting strategy isn't aggression. It's patience. They bite. and then they back off. They follow quietly, methodically, for hours if they have to, across kilometers of terrain. Scientists have documented Komodo dragons tracking bitten prey for up to 8 kilometers before the prey collapses on its own. They don't need to win the fight, they just need to make contact. Muhamad Anwar wasn't the first. In 2007, 2 years before his death, an 8-year-old boy named Ma'in was killed on Komodo Island. He had wandered behind a building near the edge of the jungle. He was found 20 minutes later. In 2008, a local fisherman was attacked when his boat drifted too close to shore and he waded to the beach to push it off. The dragons were already in the shallows. Park rangers, people specifically trained to manage these animals, who spent their careers learning dragon behavior, who carried poles and radios and backup, have been attacked and seriously injured on multiple occasions. It didn't matter, because the Indonesian government designated Komodo Island as a national park. The dragons are a protected species. Tens of thousands of tourists come every year to see them. The 2,000 people who live there year-round, who share paths with these animals every single day, are largely on their own. You might ask why anyone stays. The answer isn't complicated. It was their home before it was a national park, before it was a tourist destination, before scientists started flying in to study the dragons. For most of history, the unspoken rules held. The agreement between the human population and the animals worked, until it didn't. After Anwar's death, the 2009 Melbourne study changed what we thought we understood about how dangerous these animals actually are. This wasn't about bacteria, or size, or aggression. This was about biochemistry. One bite is all it takes. A single bite from a 150-pound lizard produces a wound that may look manageable, but internally, the anticoagulant process has already begun. Blood that should clot doesn't. Tissue that should repair itself can't. The body starts losing a fight it doesn't know it's in. Here is the number that matters. In documented Komodo dragon attacks where victims received medical care within 1 hour, the survival rate was approximately 70%. In documented attacks where victims reached care after 2 hours or more, the survival rate dropped below 30%. Muhamad Anwar reached the hospital in under 2 hours. It wasn't enough. You don't need myths to be afraid of the dark. You don't need legends, and you don't need stories passed down around a fire about creatures that don't exist. The island of Komodo is real. It appears on every map. You can buy a plane ticket and be standing on it in less than 24 hours. And the 2,000 people who wake up there every morning, who send their children to school, who fish the same waters, who walk paths 10 feet from where a 150-pound apex predator slept the night before, they know something the rest of the world has forgotten. The monsters were never imaginary. We just got comfortable. If you want more stories like this, real ones, documented ones, the kind that don't need embellishment to terrify you, then please subscribe. And stay close.